Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If you would please, if you're able, please stand and as we welcome our graduates. All right, while you remain standing, if you would please, gentlemen, if you would remove your ball caps as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Good morning to all of you guests. My name is Telly Tucker. I have the privilege and the honor of serving as the president here at the Institute for Advanced Learning and Research here in Danville, Virginia. By show of hands, how many people are here in Danville, Virginia for the very first time? All right, great. Not you all. You don't count. Been here for 4 months. I get asked the question a lot. What is this place called the Institute? How did it get here? When did it come about? And tell me more. So we are a 23-year-old organization. We are what's called a political subdivision in the Commonwealth of Virginia. It's a fancy way of saying we're a quasi-governmental entity that's here to support economic transformation in this region. This region has a long legacy of manufacturing, people whose DNA is built upon making things with their hands, working in a manufacturing environment, and operations that go 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. People take pride in building things in this community. Many years and generations of Southern Virginians were supported by legacy industries like textile and tobacco and furniture making, and all those industries went away. This region decided to invest its own money, some $80 million of its own money, in starting to rebuild manufacturing and skills, trades training pipelines, educational pipelines and training pipelines. Pipelines that start in middle school with 11, 12, and 13-year-olds getting to do AR and VR welding in a classroom, or tabletop CNC, or even some destructive and non-destructive testing exposure, coding and robotics and automation, because we recognize that tomorrow's future are sitting in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade classrooms today. We further invested in high school programs and community college programs and programs here on the Institute's campus, which got the attention of our United States Navy and our Office of Secretary of Defense. And so about 5 years ago, we piloted this program, Accelerated Training in Defense Manufacturing, as a way to take someone with absolutely no manufacturing experience whatsoever, and in a period of 16 weeks, get them to a place where they're ready to enter a manufacturing industrial-based job, because this country critically needs these skills. As a matter of fact, it's a national security concern that we don't have enough manufacturing skilled trades people in this country. We estimate that we're going to need some 140 to 150,000 workers over the next 10 years just to support shipbuilding and sustainment. So I say all that to say this is how we've arrived at this opportunity, this place that we are today, this new beginning for our graduates. You have been chosen among many others who applied for and hope to have an opportunity to sit in this seat. You've persevered over the last 16 weeks through, I'm sure, what were sometimes very stressful and anxiety-filled moments. You've probably hit walls where you didn't quite think you were going to make it, but you've come to this point, you've made it to this day, and your future from here is very bright. The opportunity that sits before you to go in and to work in the industrial base has the opportunity to change not only your life, but your future children, future generations of your family. And not only your specific personal situation, but also to support our warfighters who are on the front line. One of my friends and good colleagues previously said, your proximity to the fight does not equate to your importance to the fight. And what that means for me is the skills that you've learned in this program and the jobs that you will fulfill might in fact save a life one day. It may be somebody who's very close to you. It could be a child, a grandchild, or a friend or family member. So not to put pressure on you, but this is a tremendous calling that you've accepted to get into ATDM, to complete ATDM, and now to move into the industrial base. We can't do what we do here at ATDM, at ILR, without partners. And we have many, many of them, too many to call, but I'll recognize a few today. Of course, first, our friends at the Navy MIB team, the Maritime Industrial Base team, who liaise with us almost daily on how they support this program financially, along with the Office of Secretary of Defense, Industrial Base Analysis and Sustainment Office. I want to thank many of our industry partners, those like BWXT, who's in the room today, who've been one of our biggest supporters in terms of hiring students, sending pre-hires or upskill students here. Folks like Norfolk Naval Shipyard or Huntington Ingalls Industries, who also are big players in this market. But we've recruited students from 48 states, and we've sent students to some 35, 36 states. We couldn't do that without tremendous partners all over this country. So I want to thank those of you who are partners and continue to support the ATDM program. It's my privilege and honor now to introduce our Executive Vice President for Manufacturing Advancement, Mr. Jason Wells.
Thank you, President Tucker. Congratulations. As President Tucker indicated, my name is Jason Wells. My job here as Executive Vice President for Manufacturing Advancement is to oversee the various programs here on campus that touch manufacturing. Our department has the distinct privilege and honor of being responsible to the ATDM program. So really, it's fantastic to be here today to celebrate this. So graduates, family members, instructors, honored guests, today, as I mentioned, we're here to celebrate their completion of this particular program, but we're also here to celebrate the beginning of a responsibility. Graduates, you leave here with more than certificates and technical skills. You're leaving here with capability, a capability to build, repair, and sustain systems that defend our nation and our very way of life. History teaches us a simple truth that nations are secured by what they can build. There's a very specific lesson from the Cold War that proves this. For nearly half a century, in fact, a big portion of my life, the United States faced a global adversary without ever firing a direct shot between those two superpowers. That peace was not accidental. It was maintained by credible capability. The capability was built by skilled tradespeople. America's ability to avoid conflict rests on its manufacturing strength. The ability for our aircrafts to fly further and fly faster, our submarines to carry more weaponry, technology, and stay silent for months. Our radar systems to see well beyond the horizon, and our communication systems and infrastructure to never go dark. None of the systems that we use existed as concepts alone. They existed because electricians, welders, machinists, inspectors, and other technical fields built them to exacting standards and tolerances. When the Cold War ended, historians did not point to a single battle that won it. Instead, they pointed to our industrial capacity, capability, reliability, and technological superiority. The ability to design, produce, maintain, and continue to improve complex systems year over year is proved to be the decisive factor in the Cold War. Those lessons still matter today. And those lessons are the reasons why the ATDM program exists and the various other programs here on our particular campus. Manufacturing touches every part of our everyday lives, whether it's the electricity coming into our homes, the vehicles that transport our families, the infrastructures that connect our communities, or the defense systems that allow us to live in peace. None of it is feasible without the skilled trades. You are entering careers where precision matters. More importantly, you're entering a career where mistakes definitely have consequences and where excellence is not optional. What you build may never carry your name, but I assure you it carries tremendous responsibility, your responsibility. There's deep honor in that. And I know it sounds a bit dramatic, but it is very true. You are becoming stewards of trust. The American people trust what you build will work when they need it the most. They also trust you that when the nation is tested, the systems that our armed forces depend on will not fail. The skilled trades are where craftsmanship and innovation come together, where problem solving meets discipline, where pride comes not from recognition, but more pride comes from knowing that you did the job right and you did it well, even when people aren't looking. So as you move forward, remember this: take pride in your craft, respect the responsibility that it carries, never stop learning, and never forget that your work truly, truly matters. There's going to be long days where you feel like it doesn't. That's when you really need to dig the deepest. You stand now with a long line of builders and makers that understood that the strength of the nation is not measured only by its ideals, but by its ability to sustain those ideals. So graduates, the future of our industrial strength and our national security now rest in part with you. So please, for all of us, I ask, build well, work with purpose, and know that through your hands, you help protect what we hold so valuable and true. So congratulations, cohort 25F. So now it's my honor to really introduce this is a great speaker we have for you today, a true champion for what we do here at the Institute for Advanced Learning and Research with these programs. I get to introduce to you retired Rear Admiral Tom Kearney. So Rear Admiral Tom Kearney is currently an independent consultant, advising and supporting over a dozen large and small defense-related businesses, including 5 Fortune 100 companies. He also serves as the executive director of the Naval Surface Technology Innovation Consortium, which supports over $3 billion in research, development, testing, and integration of complex naval warfare systems. Rear Admiral Kearney retired from the U.S. Navy in 2016 after serving for 34 years, spending 22 years in operational submarine force and 12 years directing acquisition programs at the Naval Sea Systems Command. During his first 22 years in the U.S. Navy, Rear Admiral Kearney rose to the level of commanding officer of 2 nuclear submarines, including the very first Virginia-class submarine, the lead ship of a new class. He also commanded the USS Alexandria, during which time the ship was awarded the Navy Unit Commendation for critical operations in every combatant theater around the world. Following his at-sea assignments, he became a naval acquisitions professional. Upon selection to Rear Admiral, he served as the Vice Commander, Chief Operating Officer of the Naval Sea Systems Command, otherwise known as NAVSEA. Rear Admiral Kearney applies his broad Navy experience and DAU Level 3 program management certification to actively support two critical defense industrial base related programs, both of which are housed here on our campus at the Institute, one being the Accelerated Training and Defense Manufacturing Program, the premier defense industrial base training program in our nation, and the other being the Navy's Additive Manufacturing Center of Excellence, which resides right next to the ATDM program across the street. Rear Admiral Kearney is a graduate of Villanova University with both a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering and a Master of Arts in Political Science and International Relations. Please join me in welcoming Admiral Kearney to the stage.
Hey, good morning, everyone. The one thing that's missing in my bio that I'm very proud of and was really pivotal in my Navy career was the fact that I enlisted in the Navy 2 weeks after high school, and I was an electrician in the trades for about 3 years before I then went off to get my college degree and wound up, retiring as a flag officer. But those years mechanically doing things, motors, controllers, ABTs, wiring, crimping, all that kind of stuff really set me on the right path throughout my career. So thanks for reviewing that, Jason. It's great seeing you, Jason and Telly, as always. I've been part of this team since the very beginning. And I just want to let you know I appreciate being here. I'd also like to start by welcoming the rest of the ATDM leadership and instructors, the families and friends who are here to support their graduates, and most importantly, you, the graduates of the ATDM program. It's an honor for me to be here with you. And I'm particularly proud to stand here, as Jason mentioned, as someone who helped establish this program and launch it from the very beginning. After more than 30 years in the Navy, most of my time in submarines, as you heard, but later leading to acquisition programs at NAVSEA, I knew we had a serious workforce shortage in the defense industrial base, but I did not fully appreciate back then just how successful ATDM was going to be or how critical it is to our national security. And that success belongs to many people. The ILR team that manages the program, the instructors who push you every day. And I circled around talking to a handful of the students here, and every one of them, after introducing themselves, made the point on how awesome their instructors are. So well done to those instructors that are working away with you on the mid-watch, on the swing shift, on the day shift, and all that. Well done. But the bottom line is today's about you. You guys have really accomplished something phenomenal. You did it. You completed the intense, demanding program, as mentioned, full days, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, plus weekends and all the extra work there, homework, with no shortcuts. And in the Navy, we use a code when we send up flags and things like that. And you guys deserve the Bravo Zulu flags. And in the Navy, that's when one ship transmits to another ship, good job, right? BZ flag. So Bravo Zulu for you guys. You should be very proud of what you've accomplished. You've already proven something very important, though, that you can do hard things and you can do them well. And for many of you, this is just the beginning. And my strongest advice is to keep learning. Learn more about your trade. Learn how your work fits into the larger system. And when the time comes, learn something new. Momentum matters. And right now you have it. Learning momentum. Don't stop learning. Always keep learning something new. This graduating class is mostly focused on welding and additive manufacturing, two disciplines that sit right at the heart of where defense manufacturing is headed. Many of you will go to work in the shipyards or at suppliers supporting submarine and surface ship construction. And as someone who spent most of my adult life operating submarines, let me briefly explain what you're helping to build. And for those of you who aren't familiar with submarines, you'll walk out of here with all the knowledge you need to make a nuclear submarine. First, find a steel tube that's the length of a football field for an attack submarine that's 40 feet in diameter. Or if you're making an SSBN, find a steel tube that's 600 feet long. Now that's the size of the Washington Monument. So imagine a submarine and lay it on its side, having the Washington Monument go up and down the Potomac River. That's going to be one of our SSBNs, and our SSNs are 360 feet long. So now that you have your tube, build a nuclear reactor and stick it inside, and then make sure it works. Add propulsion turbines, high pressure air systems, high voltage systems, hydraulic systems, all the accompanying systems that are going to make that submarine work. Thousands of feet of piping and about 20,000 pounds of explosives, because you were carrying lots of torpedoes as well. And then put 140 people inside, seal it up, and send it hundreds of feet underwater, drive it around at high speeds, and do it silently. There you go. That's a nuclear submarine today. And that's not just impressive engineering, but it's manufacturing excellence made real. And everything you've learned here at ATM becomes mission reality on a submarine. The welds, the printed parts, the inspections, the tolerances. This is not theoretical work. This is unforgiving, real world performance. And in the Navy, we use a term called mission critical. And when lives depend on it, it's mission critical. When national security depends on it, it's mission critical. And the parts you will make help us perform under extreme conditions, pressure, shock, vibration in the deep ocean. And most of these components must work flawlessly for the next 30 years. Let me give you an example of what you're making. A lot of the stuff you were learning on welding and making parts, you didn't have actual pressures inside there, but the folks in the room need to understand, you take a pipe the size of that flagpole, the mast is about 1 inch diameter, maybe 10 feet tall or 8 feet tall, so 100 inches tall. So you're going to have 1 inch times 100 inches, so you've got 100 square inches, right? But we're dealing with systems with high pressure air systems, over 4,000 pounds per square inch. And now in that pipe alone, you've got 100 square inches. So 4,000 pounds times 10 is 40,000 times 100, 400,000 pounds, right? That's equivalent to 200 tons. Inside that one little mass is 200 tons, which is the equivalent to a train locomotive. That's how much a train locomotive weighs, about 225 tons. That's what's trying to get out of that pipe that you just welded. And it's got to stay inside for the next 30 years. So what's really cool is when you weld something, you're actually making the pipe stronger. The weld is going to be stronger than the base metal if you do it right. And that's why we have all those procedures and all the things that go into your job there. And along the same lines on the AM side, when you're making a valve out of printing material, that's got to maintain those pressures inside there forever. So when you weld a joint or you print a component or verify a dimension, you're part of a chain of trust. As Jason and Telly both mentioned, trust is a real central theme here that stretches from the shop floor all the way to the sailors at sea. And let me give you an example of why quality matters. And here's a true story. In 2005, the submarine USS San Francisco struck an uncharted sea mountain at a head flank, very high speed, and 600 feet underwater, 2 football fields to the surface. The collision destroyed the front end of the submarine, killed 1 crew member, and injured nearly the entire crew. What saved that submarine and the lives of the 140 sailors was not luck, it was manufacturing excellence. The high pressure air systems held, critical welds did not fail, piping stayed intact, valves operated as designed, and those components had been built decades earlier by skilled tradesmen, people who never knew that one day their workmanship would be tested in a catastrophic event. But it was. And because they did their job right, that submarine surfaced and came home. That's the real impact of what you're stepping into. I want to leave you with one more thought. You're not just entering a job, you are starting a career. Some of you will become master welders or additive manufacturing experts. Others will become inspectors, supervisors, shop foremen, engineers, and managers. A few of you may one day lead the facilities that build and sustain the Navy ships. The Navy and the Defense Industrial Base don't just need skilled hands, we need leaders who understand manufacturing quality, discipline, and responsibility. And the habits you build now will shape the leaders you become later. In closing, each of you is now part of something much bigger than yourselves. You are helping ensure that when our sailors go to sea, the ships will perform as designed, we will win the wars we fight, and they will come home. And we trust you, and we need you, and we are counting on you. Congratulations to the graduates of ATDM, and fair winds and following seas.
Thank you. So our next speaker is actually someone who experienced going through the program. Now we get to bring to the stage our student speaker for cohort 25F, Robert McNulty. Robert. Robert is a graduate from our third shift welding cohort. Robert's journey to ATDM reflects dedication, adaptability, and a strong commitment to excellence. Before coming here, he followed a varied path that shaped his work ethic, leadership, and sense of responsibility, qualities that have been evident throughout his time in the program. During his training, Robert consistently demonstrated precision, accountability, and pride in his craftsmanship, earning the respect of both instructors and peers. Robert represents the standards ATDM strives to instill and the potential of this graduating class he represents. Please join me in welcoming Robert to the stage.
Can you all hear me in the back? I'm not too loud. All right. First of all, good morning, friends, family, students, distinguished guests. Thank you for the introduction. I didn't expect that much impact from me. And also, public speaking, not a good friend of mine, but I'm going to give it the best shot. So first, I want to thank all of y'all. I already did, but I'll do it again. Your support, whether it was encouragement, patience, rides to class, or helping us move out here, has made this moment possible. My peers, we survived the trials and we gained a sneak peek on what this field has to offer. All right, if you haven't met me, my name is Robert McNulty. I'm in third shift, and it's an honor to represent y'all. Like a lot of people here, my path to this schoolhouse was not a straight line. I didn't wake up one day with everything figured out, and I tried many things. I went to college for genetics. I was an EMS, 911 dispatcher. I even served in the Marine Corps for 5 years as an infantry squad leader. I chose welding, though, because I wanted to work with these, my hands. Learn a trade that matters, and I trusted the strength and certainty of steel. Excuse me. When I found ATDM, though, it stood out to me because it wasn't just training. It was an opportunity into defense manufacturing, industry, and a future where our skills are truly needed. Many people here followed a meandering path in life to meet here, and it culminates today. We're all in the same shoes. I chose ATDM because of the standards. From day one, we were expected to do things the right way. Not the easy way, the right way. Precision, safety, accountability, and pride in craftsmanship, like I said earlier, were all expected and praised. The schoolhouse also gave us access to instructors who gave us insight to the way things work in the field and who made us make our stumbles first before they gave us their own method of doing things. This led to some out-of-box thinking, and some of you may know I have created some handy tools that helped me succeed. I gained a lot more than welding skills here, though. I learned techniques in MIG, TIG, stick, flux core, how to read blueprints, and getting things square. However, I also learned some humility for myself, how to focus and how to improve myself every day. Just little growths every day. My communication skills, maybe a little rusty, but I'm getting there. And to work with others and gain some confidence in myself. I also gained some connections, the relationships I built with instructors, students, even the career fair when I met some of the industry people. Um, these people are not just who will just recommend us, hire us, but they'll also work with us side by side. So we need to trust them. I'm going to take a step back from the welding side of the house and talk about the location we're at too. Danville. Danville has been more than just a place where our facilities are. It's been part of the journey. Whether it was grabbing food after class at Link's Cafe, or walking the Riverwalk Trail to enjoy the nature, or just getting to know the community, this little city became part of our story. Some of us also had the chance to give back through volunteering events or helping in projects that show the skilled trades aren't just about jobs, they're about service. What we build matters, and who we build it for matters as well. For what's next in my future, I'm proud to say that I'll be working with HII right out of school in Newport News. This opportunity came directly from the training, connections, and standards that we were held to here. Others I know may be staying close, others may be far. However, the baseline and the friendships that we developed here will have a lasting effect on us all. And to my fellow graduates, we are proof that we can rise and meet the expectation. The work we do will hold things together, literally. Ships, structures, systems, and communities depend on what we create and join. Let's take pride in our work, keep learning, and never forget where we started. Thank you, ATDM. Thank you, Danville. Thank you, everyone who helped us get here. I want to offer a congratulations to the class of 25F. Let's go do the hard stuff right.
Great job, Robert. It is my great honor and privilege again to welcome you all to the ATDM graduation ceremony for our incredible additive manufacturing and welding graduates. As I call the name of our graduates, I invite everyone to celebrate their achievements, not just the completion of a program, but the beginning of exciting careers and opportunities ahead. You'll notice there are a few names that I will call who are not present. This is because these individuals have started their journey early in the workforce and have begun their first day on the job, some this week. Now, I would first like to introduce the backbone of the ATDM program, the instructors and technicians who work countless hours to help these students get to this point. Faculty, as I call your names, please stand to be recognized. Second shift additive manufacturing instructor, Mr. Timothy Holland. Second shift additive manufacturing technician, Mr. Gavin Parrish. First shift welding instructor, Mr. Daryl Buchanan. First shift welding technician, Mrs. Autumn King. Second shift welding instructor, Ms. Michaela Baker. Second shift welding technician, Mr. Jonathan Grubb. Third shift welding instructor, Colby King. First shift welding fabrication instructor, Mr. Hector Garcia. First shift welding fabrication technician, Mr. Stephen Duncan. Second shift welding fabrication instructor, Mr. Matthew Walker. Third shift welding fabrication instructor, Mr. Kennedy King. Third shift welding fabrication technician, Mr. Tanner Cole. And now, without further ado, we'll begin calling the names of our graduates. Let's welcome to the stage our additive manufacturing faculty, Mr. Timothy Holland and Gavin Parrish. Andrew Cadena. Keith Earnshaw. Kevin Fisher. Lee Haynes Jr. This is a student that is absent. Ekin Wynn. Gage Jakimson. Lauren Rice. Another student in their absence, Mr. Carlo Torres. Next up, excuse me, welding first shift led by instructor Daryl Buchanan and technician Autumn King. James Crane. Chris Kranick. Andrew Hubbs. John Moreno. Connor Murray. Sabrina Newforth. Hunter Pedrodi. John Satares. Kanan Worley. Eric York. Next up, second shift welding led by instructor Michaela Baker and technician Jonathan Grubb. To also include fabrication instructor Matthew Walker.
Good to see you. Good, yourself? Hi.
Brendan Avazes. Jaden Chase. Daniel Funderburk. Colin Gallagher. Waleed Haddad. Kanichi Makino. Mitchell McLaughlin. Adelaide Miles. Cameron Owens. Declan Phillips. Carson Rose. Jamarcus Shorter. Oliver Tolan. Our last group, welding third shift, led by instructor Colby King, with fabrication instructor Kennedy King, fabrication technician Tanner Cole.
Hey, how's it going? Pretty good. Good to see you.
John Brennan. Matthew Daniel.
Congratulations.
Brennan Grice. Robert McNulty. Liam Murrin.
Congratulations. Good luck out there.
Jaden Ortega. Lakeisha Pickens. Trevor Pratt. Austin Rice. Elijah Torado. And last, but certainly not the least, Andrew Zimmerman. Let's give another round of applause for our 23F graduates. Now we'll have closing remarks from our president, Mr. Telly Tucker.
When we wrap up, graduates, if you would please come to the stage for a group photo. Family members and friends, you'll have an opportunity to take a photo of all of our graduates too at that time. My final comments, I want to take a moment actually to speak to our graduates. For you to turn and thank all the people who came here to support you, who supported you over the last 4 months as you've been here. They've made a sacrifice as well so that you can be here. So if we could give our friends and family a hand today. So as has been shared with you, today while it's a completion, it's a graduation, it's a culmination of a lot of hard work, energy, and effort around learning a new skill. It's also a new beginning. It's a new beginning, a new opportunity for you to make greater impact, not only on your life, but on the lives of the people that serve our country and our friends and family as well. So on behalf of the Board of Trustees here at the Institute for Advanced Learning and Research, it's my privilege to officially declare you graduates of the Accelerated Training Defense Manufacturing Program.